Every year, over 50,000 motorcyclists are injured and nearly 2,000 of those are killed in traffic accidents. Riding a motorcycle can be an enjoyable experience, but along with all of the fun also comes the need for increased safety and attention to riders' surroundings. One of the main reasons are careless drivers that simply do not pay attention to motorcycles on the road. Riding a motorcycle carries with it dangers that don't exist in cars. Unlike a car, motorcyclists are completely exposed to collision with another vehicle or any other object on the road. Cars outweigh motorcycles by thousands of pounds, which leads to disaster when they collide. The worst danger involved in riding, and probably the most common reason for a motorcycle accident, is that drivers of cars don't notice the motorcycle rider on the road. Drivers often cut off or rear-end motorcycles because they are following too closely. Cars need significantly more room to stop than a light motorcycle, and this often leads to crashes from drivers following too closely. In comparison to drivers and passengers in a car, motorcyclists are 21 times more likely to die in a crash and 4 times more likely to be injured. Motorcycles account for less than 2% of all registered vehicles in the United States, but weigh in at 85% of all traffic deaths. Today, the Insider Exclusive goes behind the headlines in Motorcycle Accidents Clayton DeSilver's story to examine how Anna Dubrovsky, principal at the Anna Dubrovsky Law Group, successfully won a major verdict against seemingly impossible odds for her client. Her client was an illegal immigrant. The police report stated her client was at fault. 2 independent witnesses confirmed the police report. Her client's insurance had been canceled for non-payment, and the case was being tried in a very conservative San Mateo County. Today, for the first time ever on network TV, the Insider Exclusive investigative series shows why Anna Dubrovsky was selected by the Consumer Attorneys of California as a finalist for the 2010 Street Fighter of the Year Award, as well as the 2011 Trial Lawyer of the Year Award by the San Francisco Trial Lawyers Organization, and how she won this case and others with equally long odds. Anna Dubrovsky's successful representation of Clayton DeSilver has earned her the highest respect from citizens and lawyers alike, as one of the best trial lawyers in San Francisco, in California, and in the nation. She has seen many innocent and hardworking people become victims in catastrophic accidents, and because of that, she is driven to fight for people who have been harmed by the willful or negligent actions of others. Her goals, not only to get justice for her clients, but to make sure that all corporations respect people's lives and take responsibility for their negligent actions. This is the Insider Exclusive, live from San Francisco, California. It's my great pleasure to introduce Anna Dubrovsky and Pavel Krepke. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Welcome, thank you.
Tell our audience what kind of cases your firm generally handles, Anna.
Well, we try to help people who got hurt at the result of negligence of somebody else or corporation or company. Basically anybody who's been involved in any sort of incident or accident and needs help to be represented to receive compensation, we are here to help them.
A lot of like personal injury type.
I would say more than 90% of personal injury cases.
Your firm and both of you have kind of an unusual background. You were born in another country. You were born in Russia, and you went to law school there. Well, you went to law school there, right?
Both. I graduated from law school in Moscow, and also Anna went to law school in Moscow as well.
But then you came to the United States. I found your story very interesting. You landed in New Jersey, and you were a paralegal for a while.
Correct.
What made you decide you wanted to be a lawyer?
I always wanted to be a lawyer. There was something that I wanted to do since I was 12 years old. Pursued that dream and went to law school in Moscow, and my family decided to immigrate to the United States, and I was always hoping that one day I'm going to be able to continue my education so I could be a lawyer in the United States.
In fact, today we're going to be talking about a case that had such long odds of winning, the Clayton DeSilver case, that I understand that her peers nominated her for a number of awards, right?
Correct. Consumer Attorneys of California and San Francisco Trial Lawyers Association nominated her, and actually she became a finalist for the Street Fighter of the Year and for the Trial Lawyer of the Year.
Tell our audience, Anna, a little bit about Clayton Da Silva. Who was he?
Clayton Da Silva is a young man who is a very sweet guy who's been here in this country for about 10 years and working at doing deliveries. Really gentle, really nice guy who was here with his brother living, trying to pursue his American dream. And his hobby was riding motorcycles. That's what he enjoyed doing on the weekends. And this young man who's never had any health problems, never had any surgeries. He was about 30 years old when this incident happened. Unfortunately, got in a horrific accident, and when I first met him, he was in a ICU unit trying to survive.
Right. And the reason we wanted to do this story is kind of remarkable. He had, a police report that said that he was at fault when a truck supposedly crossed the yellow line, or when he crossed the yellow line and he hit the truck. There were also 2 independent witnesses that confirmed the police report, right?
Correct.
He had no insurance.
Correct.
And he also happened to be an illegal immigrant at the time. His status was illegal.
That's true.
Now, when you get a case like that, most lawyers would turn it away, wouldn't they?
That's right. Most lawyers would. It was a very difficult case. We had a gasoline truck who was going down Curvy Road, and we had Clayton riding with 3 of his friends, just taking a ride. And of course, the prejudice against motorcyclists is so high here that, from my experience, almost all the time you're going to see motorcycles being found at fault by the cops.
Yeah. When you have a police report that says whose fault it was his fault. That's what the police report said. Right. How do you beat that? How do you defend it?
Well, I tell you, first you have to believe your client yourself. And I actually had to do a lot of, I met with a lot of his friends who were there before I decided that I'm going to put my money and efforts and time into this case. While he was in the hospital, I met with his friends.
And they were riding with him that day?
They were riding with him, and I brought him to my office, and I sat him down, and I explained to them that I really need to know the truth.
Yeah.
And if they tell me, the truth is important, and all of them told me that, in fact, they did see the back tire of the gasoline truck going over the double yellow line, and they all confirmed that. And one of his friends told me that when the police report came out and his statement was not even recorded by the cop, he called the police officer and his superior, and he insisted that his statement is included in the police report.
So you just had a bad cop making a bad report.
In fact, the cop was so bad that at the end of the jury trial, after all the evidence were presented, the presiding judge over the trial, got so upset with the police officer that he felt compelled to write a letter to his superior to tell him how poorly this incident was investigated. The cop didn't take any pictures, didn't document debris, didn't document the areas of rest. He didn't do anything. But he did say that when he interviewed the witnesses, he chose not to give any weight to Mr. Da Silva's friends only because they were his friends. And in his mind, he thought because they were his friends, and maybe because they were also immigrants, he didn't think they would be credible.